I've been reviewing our progress in the first half of this term, but even as we tackle the immediate issues, we have to look to the future. And there are exciting opportunities ahead. Asia is continuing to grow. ASEAN is establishing an ASEAN community by the end of next year, which should give us more opportunities in our neighboring countries. We are venturing into new industries, new technologies. The globalization is progressing. People talk about big data. We are part of that. We want to be a smart city, a smart nation. But as Mr. Sito has just pointed out, at the same time, we are undergoing very rapid changes. And there are widening inequalities, and this is causing angst and restlessness. And not just in Singapore, but in many countries around the world. Take, for example, China. Developing, prospering, becoming middle income faster than any other country of that size and scale ever in the world. And yet, middle-income families in China feel the same angst as our middle-income families do. They doubt that they can have better lives than their parents, even though their standard of living is already much higher. They worry what the future holds for them, and they are unhappy that some others are doing much better than they themselves are. So you will have heard the phrases "guan er dai" or "fu er dai." That means second generation child of an high official or second generation child of a wealthy person. And they are envied. Everybody else says, "Where do I go?" Although, in fact, the tide is rising for everybody, but the anxiety, the angst is there within China. But China causes anxiety elsewhere, in Hong Kong, one country. And the Chinese visit as tourists by the millions, and Hong Kongers, the residents, protest bitterly against the influx of mainlanders, right, raising their cost of living, buying their milk powder. So they've had to impose quotas per tourist, 2 cans of milk powder is all you're allowed to carry out at the border. So the Hong Kongers are anxious, a different environment, but same sort of anxiety. We look for models around the world, and we think of Bhutan. When we had the debate at the opening of the parliament in 2011, Ms. Sylvia Lim made a major point about Bhutan. Bhutan was talking about gross national happiness, not GNP, gross national product, but gross national happiness. And they had a fully worked out formula, structure, what do you study, what does happiness consist of. They had Jeffrey Sachs advising them, and it was a whole system. But it was not so simple. And Mr. Corbin Wan and some others on our side explained why it was not so simple. But at that time, the Bhutan government made gross national happiness a big part of their agenda. It's a pity that Ms. Sylvia Lim didn't mention gross national happiness when she spoke in the debate today, because I'm not sure whether she noticed, but last year there was a general election in Bhutan, and the government which proposed gross national happiness was voted out. The new government has come in, and the new Prime Minister has been interviewed and has said that gross national happiness was overused, and it distracted the government from the real business at hand. And what is the real business at hand? He named 4. Tackling major problems with chronic unemployment, poverty, corruption, and a sense that politicians were too remote. So there is no magic formula which can cause us to solve these problems in the sense of suddenly waking up with no worries. We each confront our own different situations. We each have to manage in our own way and see our situation in perspective. I'm not disparaging the efforts of others at all. I'm just pointing out that every country has its own challenges, and we should not always believe that the grass is greener on the other side. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. And happiness is a state of mind. We can be better off, and yet if we succumb to the urgings of those who promote envy, excite disaffection, then we will always be unhappy. No amount of good things can make us happy. Happiness has to come from within ourselves. Because Singaporeans experience the same global trends, so it's completely understandable that we too feel anxious and concerned. But there's much that we can and must do to secure our future and give ourselves greater peace of mind. And we will work hard to fulfill our vision of a fair and inclusive society where every citizen has a rightful place and the opportunity to fulfill his or her aspirations. How will we do this? We should share the fruits of progress and strengthen our social safety nets. We should keep pathways upwards open to all. We should fire up the human spirit. And of course, we must get our politics right.